Welcome to our house for tea. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some chestnuts and cranberry stuffing balls to go with your Christmas dinner. Or without the Christmas dinner, they're just lovely on their own. Okay, so making the stuffing balls, I've got 100 grams of frozen cranberries here. They're surprisingly cold, but they are frozen I suppose. I'm just going to put them in a pan with 2 tablespoons of water. And I'm going to basically, hello, it's an escapee. And then I'm going to bring them to boil and then turn them down to a sort of low simmer, basically for 5 minutes until the cranberries have started to burst a little. I've got 100 grams of rice breadcrumbs here. They're useful for us because they don't contain yeast, but if you have another gluten-free dry breadcrumb you use, then please use that. But I do like these rice breadcrumbs, they're very good. So into that we're going to, this is finely chopped chestnuts. I only said cashew nuts, we definitely can't have cashew nuts. So it's 168 grams as a low-FODMAP portion of boiled chestnuts, and so this split between the recipe, you'll be fine. So I'll tip those in. We've got a tablespoon of finely chopped parsley, this heaped tablespoon, and a teaspoon of finely chopped thyme. There it goes. And then for the spice mix, we've actually got half a lemon zest, so buy an unwaxed lemon for that. We've got a large pinch of salt flakes, I do love my salt flakes. 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice, which is a very Christmassy spice, I think. Got some black pepper in there, freshly ground black pepper, it's about 1/4 of a teaspoon. And is that everything I put in there? Yeah, I think it is. So in that goes as well. So we'll give that a quick stir together. They're starting to burst now, there's not much of the water left, so I'm just going to add the 45 grams of butter, and then I'm going to take it off the heat and then leave it just to cool down a little bit. Back to the stuffing mix, I'm going to add in 250 grams of pork mince. It's not a terribly lean mince because actually I want the fat in there. And 50 grams of chestnut puree, so in total the recipe's got 140 grams of chestnuts in, you'll be fine. Okay, I'm just going to start stirring that together now to make it come together. You may find after a couple of stirs it's actually easier to use your hand, so I'll just start blending it and then I'll use my hand to sort of squash it together. Okay, so just giving it a really good squish together just to start the blending before we add the cranberries. It feels really strange. Okay, so the butter's now melted on top of the cranberries, and I'm going to stir that into here, and then I may use my hands again later. So again, just squeezing that together, and the cranberries will start to sort of burst and turn your stuffing pink. Who doesn't like little pink stuffing balls? Okay, I think that's enough. Now I'm going to put them in a lined baking tray, the little balls. The reason I want the sides is just in case it starts leaking juice all over your oven. I mean, you're more than welcome to just clean your oven more often than I do, obviously, but it is useful. And I also do line the bottom as well because I hate scrubbing tins. Right, so I'm going to roll them into balls about the size of a large marble, or tell you what, would you call that a ping pong ball size perhaps? Walnut-sized balls. I'm going to be leaving a bit of space in between them because the high sides of the oven tray can mean that it'll end up making them sweat a bit, so I want the air to move around as much as I can, really. It's made about 24, no it hasn't, it's made 25 and a half balls. You can make these ahead of time if you want to, and then just heat them up just before serving. You do need to cook them now though, you can't sort of just leave them at this state because the hot cranberries in there are obviously not great for the meat to be kept sort of lukewarm for a long time. So yes, cook them off now. I mean, you could freeze them, cook them off now and freeze them, and then make sure you sort of defrost them thoroughly and then warm them up again before you serve them. but there's so many things you can do with stuffing balls. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the oven now, about 180 for 20 minutes, and they should all be gorgeous and crumbly when they come out. That's been 20 minutes and out they've come, and they're a little bit crispy on the edges. They're a little bit hot, but you can see they're all cooked and they're perfect. And I'm just going to pile them up on this plate here, using asbestos fingers because they are actually quite hot. Don't you do this? I'm so neat. It's lucky the worktop's clean anyway. So yes, there we go. I'm just trying to turn them around and make them look like a lovely pile of Ferrero Rocher. My ambassador, you're really spoiling us with these little pink meatballs. So yes, stuffing balls, fun for all the family, and yes, hope you're less clumsy than I am anyway.